Ten Hag sack, Man United told to go and get a classy successor as bizarre free transfer claims come to light. Manchester United have been told they could end up being hoodwinked by Erik Ten Hag if they don't sack him as manager this summer, and must act swiftly to land his heir amid fresh claims the Dutchman took a look at a surprise free transfer signing for the Red Devils. It's now approaching 2 weeks since strong reports emerged from journalist Jacob Steinberg that Sir Jim Ratcliffe has decided to sack Ten Hag as Manchester United boss regardless of the result in the FA Cup final. A horrendous Premier League campaign had seen the Red Devils finish in 8th, their lowest finish since 1989-90, while they also disgraced themselves in the Champions League, crashing out of Europe altogether before Christmas after losing 4 of their 6 games. Their simply unacceptable 4-0 trouncing at Crystal Palace towards the back end of the season appeared to be the final nail in the coffin for the Dutchman, whom Team Talk's correspondent Fraser Gillen had revealed back in March would likely leave at the season's end, with many at Old Trafford already viewing him as a dead man walking. However, United saved their best performance, both tactically and on an individual basis, for the cup final as they upset the formbook to deservedly beat Manchester City 2-1 at Wembley to deny Pep Guardiola's side the double-double. At the same time, it means United have now won 2 trophies in 2 seasons under Ten Hag, with the Dutchman challenging the club's decision-makers to let him win trophies at another club if they no longer wanted him as manager. Yet over 10 days later, United are seemingly no nearer an announcement on Ten Hag's future, though a decision should be reached this week when the Dutchman returns from a holiday. The delay would suggest that Ratcliffe and co. are still deliberating what to do for the best, with the win over City potentially making them think twice about releasing a manager and being faced with around £7 million in compensation costs after just 2 seasons. However, former England goalkeeper Paul Robinson is adamant that Ten Hag still needs to go and feels keeping him on would only delay the inevitable. He told the Inside Track podcast, "Erik Ten Hag will be gone by Christmas. It will be the biggest mistake that they make. You look at the season and the way they performed. One game doesn't mask a whole season. Yes, you do get hoodwinked into the fact they had a great performance and he got a tune out of this team. But actually, did he get a tune out of his team at Selhurst Park when they got beat 4-0? An FA Cup final doesn't mask a whole season of woes. They need a big change there with INEOS and Jim Ratcliffe coming in. While Mauricio Pochettino is on the market, go and get a manager like that." Pochettino has been touted to Manchester United for a long time. "I think you're delaying the agony. With Ten Hag, you would just be kicking the can down the road and waiting for that next manager to come in. All the stats say he shouldn't keep his job on the back of one game." Ten Hag, after beating City in the cup final, has a 57.89 win percentage record, having claimed victories in 66 of his 114 games to date. Bizarre free transfer signing claims from Man United. Ten Hag has also struggled on the transfer front since taking charge at Old Trafford, and we understand that, if he does somehow avoid the sack, then all transfer activities will be taken away from him, with sporting director Dan Ashworth and technical director Jason Wilcox overseeing the decision-making from here on in. Indeed, of his £175 million outlay last summer, maybe only Rasmus Højlund proved himself, with the jury still out on the injury-prone Mason Mount and often error-prone Andre Onana. Furthermore, the huge sum splashed out Brazil winger Antony, who cost United an eye-watering £85 million, is often used as a stick in which to beat United and Ten Hag with, and more so given Ajax had gone into that window initially valuing the winger at around £40 million. Ten Hag also moved to sign Wout Weghorst and Marcel Sabitzer on loan during his first season at the helm, with nearer doing enough to earn themselves a permanent move. Having fallen out with Jadon Sancho too, United have arguably looked a little short of options in attack over the season, and one man who was linked with a move during the English winger's exile by Ten Hag was former Aston Villa and Everton man Anwar El Ghazi. With the transfer window shut, Ten Hag looked at the free agent as a potential signing, though those links appeared to disappear almost as quickly as they had appeared. Incredibly, though, the winger himself has confirmed just how close that move came to coming off. "It was true we were in talks, but there was nothing concrete. I was a free agent after leaving PSV and they were struggling to find wingers," El Ghazi told journalist Shaman Holfez. "They were exploring the market. It was close, but unfortunately it didn't go through," he added. Ultimately, El Ghazi ended up signing for Mainz, though the move there did not go well with the player released just a month later. The 29-year-old remains without a club. Goldbridge slams, embarrassing, Man United amid manager update. Manchester United, according to Fabrizio Romano, have made contact with agents of other managers in the last 3 to 4 days. Manchester United are seeking a new manager amid doubts over the suitability of Erik ten Hag, according to Romano. The club's hierarchy has been criticised by the United stand's Mark Goldbridge for being disrespectful. This summer, 3 key positions are being targeted by Sir Jim Ratcliffe and his entourage. Manchester United have reportedly made contact with agents of other managers in the last 3 to 4 days, and the United stand presenter Mark Goldbridge is unhappy with how the club is being run in respect of Erik ten Hag's future, calling the club's brass embarrassing, unprofessional, indecisive and disrespectful. Despite winning the FA Cup final 2-1 against their arch-rivals Manchester City, on the back of a hodgepodge season on all fronts, Erik ten Hag's suitability is being questioned, not only by a section of the fanbase but by the club's boardroom bosses, too. Manchester United finished the campaign in 8th spot, their worst finish of the Premier League era, and are in major need of some wholesale changes over the summer transfer period. And the first change the club could make is their manager. Goldbridge calls out Man United hierarchy. Really sickening how the club is being run since Sir Jim Ratcliffe's minority stake in Manchester United was made official on Christmas Eve. There have been a series of behind-the-scenes changes in M16, and a big decision the 71-year-old millionaire and his team have to make is the future of the Dutch boss. Taking to X, formerly Twitter, Goldbridge did not mince his words when expressing his thoughts and feelings towards his club's behaviour, deeming Ratcliffe and company's running of the club as really sickening, on the back of Romano's news that they had initiated talks with a host of managers' agents. Really sickening how the club is being run. Embarrassing, unprofessional, indecisive, disrespectful and not representative of the vast majority of the fans how they are dealing with this. Shame. The crux of Goldbridge's issue revolves around the prolonged strategic review, which began in February, that is yet to reach a conclusion. The aforementioned delay has left ten Hag, a manager who has won 2 major trophies across a 2-year period, in a state of limbo. Journalist Ben Jacobs exclusively told GiveMeSport recently that ten Hag is set to imminently learn his fate, while Stan Collymore, formerly of Liverpool, would take ex-Chelsea and Tottenham Hotspur boss Mauricio Pochettino over ten Hag. Man United target 3 positions. Branthwaite and Todibo on list of centre-back reinforcements. Manchester United's first summer with Ratcliffe at the club is set to be an all-important one. Since his arrival, ten Hag has enjoyed a big say in transfer proceedings, as evidenced by their £86 million outlay on an out-of-sorts Antony, but that may not be the case this time around. According to The Athletic, there are 3 priority positions for the Old Trafford-based outfit this summer: centre-back, central midfield and centre-forward, proving Ratcliffe's willingness to strengthen his side spine. Everton and England ace Gerard Branthwaite is Manchester United's primary choice for the latter, but it is understood that his signature may cost north of what they are willing to pay, though the Toffees' profit and sustainability (PSR) situation could play into their hand. The report also suggests that on the back of Rafael Varane's exit and Lisandro Martinez's return from injury, Jean-Claire Todibo is also of interest, and has been since last summer. Arsenal-linked Benjamin Sesko has been watched closely, too, in terms of a centre-forward option. Man United would consider a sale of Marcus Rashford. Marcus Rashford could leave Manchester United this summer if the right offer comes in. Manchester United are open to selling Marcus Rashford this summer, if they are to receive a substantial offer. Rashford's exclusion from the England squad may be the catalyst for him trying to push for a move. INEOS face several tough decisions this summer, including resolving the futures of Erik ten Hag and many players at the club. Manchester United would sanction the sale of Marcus Rashford this summer if they were to receive a substantial offer for the player, according to reports. Rashford endured a disappointing season in 2023-24, scoring just 8 goals in 43 appearances across all competitions, as United finished 8th in the Premier League. This dismal campaign has sparked rumours surrounding the England international's future at Old Trafford, having been linked with a spectacular move to Arsenal in recent weeks. However, The Athletic report that the United hierarchy's desire is to keep hold of the forward and help him bounce back from this underwhelming season. The sports publication do, however, suggest that if Rashford wants to leave the Northwest club, and a suitable offer was to come in, then they would consider parting ways with their most coveted current academy graduate. Rashford could leave United this summer. INEOS will listen to substantial offers for the player after a sensational season in 2023-23, where Rashford hit 30 goals in all competitions for the first time in his career. The Englishman suffered last campaign. Operating in a dysfunctional team, the 26-year-old looked low on confidence and struggled to impact games on a consistent basis. This poor form culminated in Gareth Southgate opting to leave Rashford out of his squad for the European Championship in Germany this summer. Southgate snubbing a player he has consistently picked throughout his tenure. A fee of £100 may be the catalyst for United's longest-serving player to push for a move away from Old Trafford. However, as he reportedly earns £300,000 a week, and with United supposedly demanding a substantial fee to consider a sale, a fee of £100 million has been reported in some sections of the media. The feasibility of a move coming to fruition feels unlikely. Despite tentative rumours about a move to Arsenal emerging, few concrete links have surfaced, and whether Rashford would even be open to a move to another English club given his boyhood United fandom remains in question. While it is unknown whether Erik Ten Hag will still be in the United job come the start of next season, whoever is taking charge would likely want the Manchester-born man at his disposal. With Rasmus Højlund displaying inconsistency in his first year at the club, Anthony underwhelming, and Alejandro Garnacho still developing, Rashford represents one of the only senior attacking options who has produced impressive seasons in the past within the United dressing room. A busy summer ahead for INEOS. The managerial situation needs sorting out. The Rashford situation is one of a number of conundrums Manchester United's new owners must address this summer. The top priority will be settling on a coach to take the team forward, with reports suggesting INEOS are still deliberating over the future of Ten Hag, while many are calling for the Dutchman to be replaced with Mauricio Pochettino or Roberto De Zerbi, both of whom have been linked with the job. On the transfer front, The Athletic have reported that a striker, a central midfielder, and a central defender are the positions of concern in the transfer window. The club have been rumoured to be interested in Bologna's Joshua Zirkzee, Aston Villa's Douglas Luiz, and Everton's Jared Branthwaite. As they look to bolster each of these positions, Man United tracking Sesko ever since he was a youngster. Manchester United are in the race to sign Benjamin Sesko, who has been the subject of interest from Arsenal and Chelsea. Manchester United are keen on signing Benjamin Sesko this summer, despite Arsenal and Chelsea's well-documented interest. Sesko has a release clause of £55.3 million, making him an affordable target. Man United are also looking to strengthen in defence and midfield, with the likes of Jared Branthwaite and Douglas Luiz linked with the club. Manchester United are prepared to fight to sign RB Leipzig striker Benjamin Sesko, who has been linked heavily with moves to Arsenal and Chelsea, according to The Athletic. Sesko netted 14 Bundesliga goals last season, ending the campaign with 7 goals in 7 consecutive games. This impressive finish has prompted interest from a host of clubs, with Arsenal supposedly having been told by his representatives that the player is keen on a switch to North London. However, Ben Jacobs revealed to GiveMeSport that Sesko is also open to considering an offer from Chelsea, if one is to be made. Now, The Athletic are reporting that this saga could become a three-way tussle, with a Slovenian remaining of interest to United. The Red Devils are supposedly in the market for a striker, and have been scouting Sesko for some time now. Sesko remains of interest to United. The goalscorer could spark a transfer tussle. Despite the intense speculation around Arsenal and Chelsea's interest, United have not been put off the scent for Sesko. The Northwest club will believe they have a chance of signing the 21-year-old, and with The Athletic suggesting that he has been watched closely by United since he was a youngster, it's possible that the club have already done some groundwork with regards to having contact with his representatives. The sports publication have also reported that Sesko has a release clause believed to be in the region of £55.3 million. Ultimately, this sum will be seen as moderate for one of Europe's most sought-after talents, and if all three clubs are willing to activate it, the outcome of this saga will depend on their respective sales pitches. United's stature and prestige may put them in good stead to land the player, but they won't be able to offer the allure of Champions League football that Arsenal can. However, with Rasmus Højlund producing a hit-and-miss first season at Old Trafford, INEOS may be able to offer the striker guaranteed minutes as soon as he arrives at the club, while Arsenal and Chelsea may sell the idea of him playing a gradual developmental role, given the respective array of forward options both the London sides boast. Sesko shone in the second half of last season, after taking 6 months to acclimatise to German football following his move from RB Salzburg last summer, and has been described as the next Erling Haaland. The centre-forward demonstrated his immense physical attributes, praised for his lightning movement in behind and clinical finishing, United expecting to strengthen in several areas. The Red Devils are targeting 3 main areas while acquiring a striker is a priority, with links to Sesko and Bologna's Joshua Zirkzee emerging. The Athletic also report that centre-back and central midfield are areas in which the club would like to strengthen. United's new hierarchy are targeting both Everton's Gerard Branthwaite and Nice's Jean-Claire Todibo, as they look to replace the aging Raphael Varane. Meanwhile, in midfield, Casemiro is expected to depart Manchester this summer, with interest from Saudi Arabia circulating, and thus Douglas Luiz has been identified as a potential replacement, as the club look to rebuild what was a meek middle of the park in 2023-24.